Now then, people, we have got an absolutely banging list of recipes for you today.
It is a big list and there's some great recipes, and the first one is Aubergine Katsu.
This is world famous, our Aubergine Katsu. And then we've got banana bread donuts. Cool hack on the traditional banana bread.
It's a goodie. And party poppers are a goodie too.
So that's like chicken wings, but they're vegan. Next up, a breakfast burrito.
I mean, who doesn't like a breakfast burrito, man?
Followed by our world famous mushroom Wellington, the perfect roast dinner centerpiece.
It's a good lineup.
So Aubergine Katsu, dude, this one is legendary in Team Bosh, our Facebook group. Do go check us out if you're not there already. They love this recipe so much.
And you can see why, because the sauce is so good. And the crispiness of the aubergine is, again, so good.
I mean, this is like a Japanese classic dish with that delicious veg, the absolutely gorgeous sauce, as Ian says. And of course, you've got to serve it with a bit of rice.
Nice colour.
Yeah, good bit of colour on that.
I mean, like, it's kind of, you can just tell where it's edging toward. It's edging toward a sunny, orange, yellowy, lovely colour.
Now, I can't tell you how much time we spent on this part of the recipe when we were developing it, which is essentially the katsu sauce, trying to work out the right amount of stock, carrots, should we have carrots in it or not?
Yeah.
Getting all of those flavours right.
It did take a fair old while, but you know what? Sometimes you have to labour to get it right.
So worth it.
Sometimes these recipes just come like, you know, like a dream in the night, but sometimes you have to really work to get it perfect, and this is nigh on perfect.
And of course, we've made that sauce, we've got all those lovely flavours in there. We've then blended it up into a cream, and now we're adding a little bit of corn flour and water. That's going to thicken it up as well as the heat, and you'll be left with this gorgeous, thick, creamy, spicy gravy.
Yeah, which will go perfectly over the thing we're about to show you how to make. That's a nice bowl, that blue one.
Oh yeah, nice touch.
That is a nice bowl.
So we're going to use some panko breadcrumbs. They're like, they're crispier breadcrumbs, better at holding their shape and their crispiness. Oh, and we are going to put that eggplant or aubergine inside a batter and then pop that in the panko breadcrumbs before giving it a little bit of a fry.
Now, double dipping that is a good idea as well, because you get to make sure that it's super crispy. And then if you get that oil to 180 degrees Celsius, I forget what that is in Fahrenheit, maybe 320, and then you are left with something that is just, it looks like a coin.
Oh, it's a beautiful thing, isn't it?
Yeah, doesn't it?
And also in food styling, little tip here, you're apparently always meant to go with 3 or 5, always odd numbers, and you've got a nice 3 there.
3 is indeed the magic number.
Yeah, so this is a beautiful thing. Of course, some sesame seeds will add a nice little sprinkle on top, and that is going to be restaurant quality katsu.
Yeah, it's a solid recipe.
Yeah, well done.
It's a solid recipe, it's not too difficult, it's pretty damn quick, and it's the perfect thing to eat on like a Tuesday evening.
Or date night. I reckon that's date night food.
Yeah, date night. Yeah, defo. I mean, like, to be fair, you could take yourself out on a date.
Yeah, we have to right now. It's quarantine, so we're not allowed out. We just all stay in the house together. You and me then, date night.
That's it. And the next thing we've got right now is something that is truly wonderful, delicious, incredible.
So we made a banana bread dough, and then we've made these donuts, and we're going to glaze them. And the cool thing is, as well, we're not going to fry them. So these are going to be a baked donut, which makes them quite healthy.
Baked banana bread donut? I mean, come on.
What's not to like?
Yeah.
Of course, we've made a bit of a mess on the table, but let's be honest, it looks nice when you have a bit of a scattering.
Yeah.
A little bit of photography for you there.
Lots of nuts, lots of raisins, bananas, chocolate, all that good stuff.
Now we're going to use the blender to help us make this banana bread dough, and those bananas will actually act as the binding agent, helping firm everything together along with the oil. And actually, this is an absolute doddle to make this recipe.
It's super, super quick. And those sultanas, I'm a big fan of sultanas because you just get that sort of chewy, like really satisfying bite, and it just works really beautifully with this recipe.
Now you will need a donut tin, so get yourself one of them that can work in the oven, and then literally spoon it in, pop it in the oven, and go have a cup of tea. Yeah,
and then like what you're going to be left with is something, it's got a really fantastic consistency. Like the texture of them, you just bite down and it's kind of got this springiness that you just don't expect, but when you get it, you're like, damn, this is good.
And of course, we're going to top it with a super speedy icing. Simply icing sugar, water, a touch of cinnamon, and a touch of vanilla extract are going to go in there. And then it's up to you to either twist, as you're seeing there, dip and twist, or you could also do a little artful drizzle.
Yeah, I think like either way is perfect, just as long as there's lots of whatever you're doing on top of that donut, you'll be in a good place. pecans perfect, chocolate perfect. You could even put a few more raisins on if you so wished.
That is a beautiful thing. That is a proper, like a party sharing dessert, I would say. And somewhere where you can really like use your creativity.
Yeah, and it's kind of not that unhealthy.
No, it's kind of healthy,
banana.
man. Yeah, I mean, they've got sugar in, they're not fried. So these are going to be the healthier side of donuts.
Yeah, and they're going to make your taste buds be tickled, which is a good thing.
Now this is one of my favourite recipes ever. This is party poppers, and that's because this is like popcorn chicken, but it's vegan.
Yeah, vegan chicken. Now, if you're not familiar with seitan, this is going to enlighten you.
We actually took inspiration for these little popcorn bites from a place called Temple of Seitan in London. Wicked vegan cafe if you ever want to go there. And we tried to like work out how they made their vegan chickens so crispy and crunchy. And this is our version of their delicious popcorn bites.
Now notice some of the spices that were going into that dry mixture just there, the sort of spices that you would usually associate with chicken, like thyme and that sort of stuff.
Exactly, we're going for a kind of chicken flavour, chicken spices, but obviously we don't eat chicken, so it's just the herbs that go alongside chicken. And then we're making this lovely flavoured dough with the secret ingredient that is...
Vital wheat gluten?
What is that?
Well, vital wheat gluten is like, it's quite a weird thing.
It's a madness.
You find in lots of good health food stores, but do you know what? I saw it at our local shop the other day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it's basically the protein part of gluten. It's gluten with all the starch removed. So it's a high protein dough, essentially. And it's gonna form these chickeny bites that are high in protein, obviously. Taste like chicken. They'll taste delicious because of that flavoured broth we put through it. But you absolutely have to either steam or simmer your seitan to make it taste good.
And I don't know if you noticed today, remember like how stringy it is and how springy.
Yeah.
Because like that springiness, like once you've like done your little bit of kneading, like gives it that wonderful chickeny bite.
Absolutely.
This is like monk food as well.
Absolutely, yeah. They've been making seitan and eating seitan as a meat replacement in Asia for thousands of years. And now the thing we're gonna use to batter these chicken wings is actually a kind of vegan buttermilk. So we've used a yogurt, some lemon to make it more acidic and sour, and we're just going to pop those vegan chicken pieces in there.
And also we've got that flour which we've flavoured with a little bit of paprika and a couple of other bits and bobs as well, and that is going to offer a really nice crunchy crust, not dissimilar to the kernels.
The kernel would be proud.
Double dip!
You've always got a double dip, so that double dip is such a crucial part. And trust us, we've tested this with the double dip and without the double dip, and the extra double dip just gives more kind of crispiness on the outside of those wings.
180 degrees Celsius will make your like party poppers just ooze and eek.
Now let's just talk about what just happened there. We just froze those, okay? So this is similar to a triple cooked chip. What we needed to do was we needed to freeze them, to cool them down, and then fry them again, and now they're super crispy, super crunchy, and perfect.
Now, because you're freezing, it means that you can make a huge batch and leave a lot of them in the freezer, so when you want to use them again, you can just freeze them, like fry them again.
Absolutely. Dude, don't you want to eat this right now?
Yes.
I'm gutted that we don't have some of these.
I would love some of these, especially with some chips.
Should we make some after we film this?
Why not? Why not, eh? I mean, if you're going to make something, you might as well make party poppers. And if you're not going to make party poppers, you might as well make a breakfast burrito.
So tell us about this recipe.
Well, the breakfast burrito is a recipe that lives in our fourth book, Healthy Vegan, and it is packed full of protein and just healthy stuff that you want to eat.
So we're starting with chickpeas. They're super good for you, high in fibre, just high in goodness, high in protein as well. But of course, we need to add a little bit of flavour.
Yes, and now all the flavour that comes in here is great. I mean, like if you want to kick off your day, you want to kick it off with something that's going to nourish you and also excite your mouth. And this is the thing that will excite you.
Do you remember on Living on the Veg, when we filmed this? That was when we made the breakfast burrito and we made smoothies at the same time.
Yeah, I remember.
And it was like, honestly, behind the scenes of the TV show was a little bit wild.
Yeah.
And this was one of the recipes where we were just having a laugh, like running around the kitchen, chucking stuff at each other. It was a madness filming this.
But and everybody, all the guys that were working with us on that TV show, they really enjoyed it. And do you know what? If you make this, you'll really enjoy it too, because it's such an easy, really quick, really delicious breakfast. It's perfect.
Now what we're doing here is we're folding the spinach through, and anytime you're folding spinach through something hot, it's going to wilt down and lose size. But it's a really good way for you to get that dark green, like things like magnesium and iron into your diet on a regular basis.
Wholemeal tortilla, because you know, wholemeal tortillas are better than white tortillas because they're just that little bit healthier.
Avocado, because you know, everyone likes avocado. The only advice I'd give is maybe don't fill your burrito quite that full, because you're going to struggle to roll that, aren't you?
That's a big old burrito. Oh yes it is.
Next up, this was on our show, our TV show Living on the Veg as well, and we actually cooked this for TV legend Prue Leith.
Prue Leith is indeed a legend, and this is a very legendary recipe now. This is our mushroom Wellington, and I would suggest that maybe like in the region of 300,000 people have tried this.
Yeah, this is like everyone eats this thing. It's kind of become a Bosch classic for Christmas that people are making their mushroom Wellingtons, and they all send us the pictures on Instagram. So if you make this, send us your pictures on Instagram and we'll reshare them.
And one thing that you really need to do is do exactly as we're doing on the screen right now, and making a really nice marinade that will sit beautifully inside our mushrooms, which incidentally are portobello.
Yeah, and these portobello mushrooms they're going to form the centerpiece, as you'll see in a minute, of the Wellington. They're going to sit there in pride of place in the middle of the mushroom duchelle. We'll talk about the duchelle in a minute. And they'll look beautiful when you cut into it.
Now, the reason why we've used pecans there is because they are traditionally quite a soft nut, so they blend nicer, so they have a really nice mouthfeel and a lovely sweet flavour.
And that bread and those chestnuts and those pecans are going to kind of mix with the onions that we're sauteing now and give us this really lovely umami mixture, kind of like a stuffing mix, if you will, but it's also known as a duchelle, which is a French word, and that is traditional in a Wellington.
Now, minced mushrooms are something that we use quite regularly because it's the perfect way to recreate like a minced meat.
And you just get that lovely kind of umami, rich, dark, meaty flavour. That white wine is just going to help to compound that, adding that lovely richness throughout.
Look at that. And now it's really important that you simmer and get rid of most of the alcoholic flavour of that wine. And then once you're mixing your two mixes together, you're going to be left with something that clumps up beautifully like a glue, and it's going to combine really beautifully, and it's just going to go round those mushrooms so well.
Do you know, when we make this, and we've made this recipe like dozens of times, every time you make this, you get that feeling of joy that you've put the time in, you've put the love into making the Wellington, and now you're going to get to eat this thing.
And it's fun. It's just so fun. Look at this.
You can see the mushrooms are coming out now.
There they are.
This is what we do with them.
The mushrooms, they flavoured beautifully. There's the perfect amount of stuffing and perfect amount of filling. And now, you just take your time, you know, just sort of caress it beautifully, make it really rounded, and then it's time to cover up with the good work.
Another sheet of pastry is going to go on top, and the reason we're doing that is, firstly, it's a bit easier than trying to roll it all over in one, but also you can use that offcut of pastry to make a nice little shape on top. And of course we wrote on top
LOTV.
And if you know what that stands for, then pop it down in the comments below.
Yes, and if you don't know what LOTV stands for, you might know what BOSH spells. Bosh!
Boys of Sheffield.
Yeah, that's right.
That is a beautiful thing. A couple of fork pricks will help to let the steam out and let it go golden brown in the oven.
Look at that colour.
It's a beautiful thing.
It is golden.
Now this is the key moment here when you open it up, pull it up, and you'll see the mushroom inside.
Oh,
beautiful.
Like I've had this for the last 4 years for Christmas dinner.
It's a constant, isn't it? Every single year. God, you've got to get some good gravy on top. And this gravy is absolutely incredible. You can find that on our website, bosh.tv. That's called Perfect Gravy.
And not only can you find that gravy in this recipe and all the other recipes, there's loads of recipes, like over 500 recipes on there. So go check it out, bosh.tv. And if you ever cook anything by us, then please take a photograph of it, stick it on Instagram, and tag us.
Of course, the Mushroom Wellington is in our first book, Bosh, so by all means grab a copy of that, or if you've got it, you'll find it in there. And thank you for hanging out with us for the last few recipes. We hope you've enjoyed that lovely food.
Please subscribe to the channel because we do food like this all the time, and give the video a like.
Dude, I'm hungry. We need to go cook something right now.
Do it,
that was the most incredible food I think I've ever seen.
It was good. Real good.
I need that Mushroom Wellington in my belly right now.
Yumsy.
See you later, guys.
See you later.